Hello, dear sports family. Welcome back. Our setup looks a little different today. I am coming from Oregon. I'm interning at Nike this summer, and it's been such a great experience. But when I got the text that there was going to be a football interview, maybe that could happen, we had to get it figured out. So today, I have the absolute pleasure of being able to sit down with Baylor's football's 2022 Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year, Richard Reese. Reese had an outstanding season last year. He was Dave Campbell's Offensive Freshman of the Year, along with multiple Big 12 honors, such as Big 12 Second Team by PFN, and was named the Preseason All Big 12 Team. That's quite a freshman year. Richard, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us how Waco's been. I've heard it's pretty hot down there. So how's Waco summer going?
It's going good. I mean, it's pretty hot. Like you said, it's pretty hot down here. But it's going good. But that's about it.
Good. So y'all are doing practice and weights right now, correct? Like, what's the daily schedule look like?
We doing practice. Well, we going from weights to practice, so everybody got a set time for like weights. So we'll wake up. You gotta wake up at that set time for weights, or if you go to breakfast first, depending on what time you got weights. So you wake up, go get breakfast, and then go to weights. Then after weights, you could go home depending on like what your schedule is. Like on Mondays, we just got weights, and then Tuesdays we got football, just football school. So it all depends on like how your schedule is.
Yeah, good. So y'all are back in the work. You've been working since when? Gosh, May 31st? Was that y'all's report date?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have a new coach, AJ Stewart. What's it been like working with him since January?
Oh, it's been a pleasure. We learn new things. We picking up, getting used to each other. Like it took a while, like when he first got here, to like get used to him and him to get used to us. But it's been going good. He done taught me like some things like to add on to my game that I ain't know last year that I know this year, and like pass protection stuff. I'm getting better at. Like I'm getting better at the little things that's gonna like affect this season. That's gonna help me too.
Yeah, how would you describe his coaching style? Like, what's your favorite thing about him?
I say his coaching style is like he like on top of you about the little things. So to him, the little things matter to him. So I say that's like the main thing.
That's awesome. I mean, they do count in the long run. The little
Yeah.
things add up at the end of the day. So that's awesome. So what have you personally been doing to get ready for this next season? I mean, coming off such an awesome freshman season, you want to continue to build off of that. So what have you been doing personally?
I've been putting in like extra work. So like we work out Monday through Friday. So like tomorrow I'm gonna go to the field and put in some extra work, like doing 1 foot cut drills and stuff that's like gonna add on to my game to make me better. So that's mainly what I've been doing to get me better for
That's
next season.
awesome.
Yes, man.
Yeah. So are you like are you asking for Baylor for some more extra work? Or are you just kind of finding other things on the side? Or do you have your own program that you're following?
Well, I come like I do the drills that we do like during like when we have football school and stuff. So like I'm going off of those drills, and then I have other drills I do to help me too that I know to do. So I just come up here on my own, or I come up here with a teammate, another running back, and we do like drills to help each other out and make each other better. Cause like at the end, it's all gonna matter and it's gonna make sense at the end.
For sure. Who do you like to train with? Do you have someone that you always text or like to tag along with on the weekends?
Jacoby Clark, we always come to the field with each other, and he keep me going to let me know that like I mean football is not an easy sport. So I mean in order to get where you want to go, you're gonna have to put in the extra work.
That's awesome. It's really nice to have teammates like that support you and see your individual goals and want to be there with you alongside it. So that's awesome. How did you start playing football? Like, how did you get into the sport?
I started when I was like 6 years old.
Okay.
I was on the field and I was running the ball, and I got like hit hard, and I got like the wind knocked out of me. And so then my mom came running out there, and then my dad came tagging along like a little bit after. And then uh, when I got to the sideline, he was like, he told me, he was like, this a physical sport. He was like, you either gonna keep playing or you not. And then I told him I wanted to keep playing. Then ever since then, I kept playing, and then I stuck with it all the way.
That's awesome. So, are you closer with your mom, closer with your dad? Or, I mean, that was, as I know my mom would probably done the same thing, watch me get hurt and run out there. So, how's your relationship with your
I
family?
mean, I'm more close with my mom, but my relationship with my parents is like I'm close with my dad too. I got a good relationship with both of my parents, but it's just I'm a mama's boy, so you know how that is.
Yeah, yeah. I have a younger brother, and that bond's unbreakable. So
Yeah,
that's exciting. Did you play any other sports at all, or just strictly football?
yeah. I played. So when I was growing up, I played soccer and I played basketball, and then I stopped playing soccer for a while, and then I did soccer, basketball, and track, and then football. But then I stopped playing soccer for a while, and I stuck with like football, track, and basketball. And then my high school year, like my freshman year in high school, I got back playing soccer, and I did football, and I did track and basketball. And then as like my years went on in high school, I cut down on like some of the sports because I started getting offers. So I just stuck with football and track.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with. I know, like at a younger age, you can kind of try all the things and do everything, but I mean, once it starts getting serious and you kind of start to find the sport that you're really good at, it's for sure want to stick with it. So, how is the recruiting process for you? I know Baylor was probably one of your top choices, but how were the other schools during your process?
Oh, it was crazy. Like so when I had started getting offers, I had got offers from HBCU because I had went to that camp. So I had got they was like my first offer, and then it was like other colleges there, like Ole Miss and like a whole bunch of other ones. And Ole Miss was looking at me while I was there at the camp, and so then they had text me or whatever, and they was gonna let me know if they was gonna offer me or not. But way before that, Baylor had already called me, like Coach Bill and Coach Juice. They had called me, and they was like, it was surprising because like it had me in shock. Cause the first day they called me, they didn't offer me, so they had called me like the next week or whatever, and they was like, "Man, we want to offer you," and I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy!" Like I couldn't believe it, cause it was like my first like big offer, cause I had before that I had HBCU and I had Texas State, but Baylor obviously like bigger than them, even though like Texas State like in the Big 12, but Baylor like over them. So it was crazy, like saying that they was gonna offer me. So when they had offered me, like a couple few weeks after that, I had committed, but I still was gonna go to the HBCU camp like that next week. So I had went, and then when I got there, I started like doing everything they had us doing at the camp. I come back home a couple few weeks later, like more off start rolling in from like Ole Miss and other schools. It was Ole Miss, SMU, and UTSA. All three of them offered me from that camp. But it was just like when I came to Baylor, it was just like home. Like the way they do things, like they do things the right way, and so I really like the way they do things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for them to have interest from you from day one and to like give you that first offer, that's a big deal. I know Coach Aranda is big about person over player. What does that mean to you, and how do you feel like you get to live that out?
I feel like person over player is like you can be yourself, but at the same time, like help others out. That's
Mm.
how I look at it. Like, cause you never know. Like somebody could be going through something, and you gonna have to help them out. And at the end of the day, it's like a team thing. So I feel like that's how I look at it, and that's how like I try to live my life by that too, like person over player, cause at the end of the day, like you got people like looking up to you and like seeing what you doing. So I try my best to like everywhere I go, I try my best to like be polite and be respectful, cause that's just the way you should want to do things in life.
Yeah, for sure. Especially being on a team, like you want to be able to serve others, serve your coaches. Baylor's very has a big community as well, so to go out and to do charity events or to do some service work, that's a big deal. And I know that Baylor football, you get to wear that very proudly on your chest, which is an exciting thing. So, who are some of the role models that you've looked up to, either at Baylor or just watching as a kid? Some players that you've wanted to model your game after.
I mean, I ain't really. I watch like some players. I say like I watch like Marshawn Lynch and like the way he did things. Like whenever he had interviews, like he just be chill about his interviews and like he don't do like none of the extra stuff. Cause you know like fans like they'll be trying to like get stuff out of you, but he just kept his composure and like the way he had did things. And then from my hometown, I had Emmanuel Sanders, and he went to like the pros. Well, he retired now, but like just seeing him come from a little town like from Belleville, where I come from, it's just
Yeah.
like it's crazy, and that made me like work even more harder. Like seeing him come from a little town, it's just like if he could do it, he pushed me to be great. So that's how I looked at it.
That's awesome. And now you get to set that example for the generation behind you, which is it's a pretty cool opportunity. So with this year's schedule and new teams coming into the Big 12, I mean it's a whole kind of mess, but y'all will be playing Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. Does that make y'all prepare any differently than you would for um, a regular Big 12 game?
I mean, I say we gonna have to probably prepare differently because we ain't never played them, so we don't know like what type of plays they run or how they play. I mean, even though like we done seen them on TV, but we ain't really like watch like what they run and all that. So it might be a little different, but we just gonna all have to see like when the season come and when everything start up.
For sure. What is your routine when it kind of comes to watching film and looking at playbooks? What does that look like for you?
When it come, I say I watch myself and what I do on film. So like say it's we got like a game, we come home from a game and I get home. I watch like my part and like what I need to work on, like the little things and see what I did wrong and like I write it down. And then the next day we go in the film, it'll be like processed in my head already, cause like I didn't wrote it down and I didn't like went over my film like twice. So I write it down so I can remember. And then we get in film, my coach, he'll ask us like what we did wrong. And I already know because I had watched film. And I tell him like what we did wrong.
Yeah, I think it's so wise of you to be able to watch film on yourself, analyze what you're doing wrong, and already be prepared for those team meetings just to get your team a step, get yourself already prepared. I mean, you know how it is. When you get in season, you're in classes, and so things like that can get kind of a lot, and you have a lot on your plate, but to go ahead and create a routine now is something that is for sure going to help you in the long run when season starts to get crazy with traveling. The preseason honors did come out, and you made the Big 12 preseason team. That's so exciting. And then Baylor came in at number 6. How does that make y'all feel as a team going into season?
I mean, I feel like we know we gonna be a young team, so we know we gonna have to work harder. Like we working right now, but we know we gonna have to work harder than we are right now. And it's gonna take time, but I feel like we gonna be pretty good when the season come around or whatever. We just gotta work as a team. Cause last year that was our problem. We won as a team, and that's what we working on right now to be work as a team and just be play as a team too. and play together.
For sure. I mean, team chemistry is gonna sometimes make or break your team, which is exciting to hear. How would you describe your team chemistry right now?
I say everybody get along with each other, like, and I feel like the chemistry is good, but it's just like you got some people that don't want to do things, some people that do, and that's why we trying to like bring everybody together right now. So that way, when the season come, we don't have that problem, and we won't like be the same as last year. So like right now, the main thing is like getting everybody on one accord and getting everybody to the like the same on the same page. So that way, when the season come around, we on top of everything.
That's awesome. Yeah, get all the bad out now before season hits. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So, did you play in a church band? Is that correct? Growing up?
yeah. It was. I got two older brothers that's twins, so we all played. So I grew up playing, and I sung when I was little. But as I got older, like my voice changed. So like every time I get a chance to go back home, like I play the bass and my dad play the lead. So every time I like go back home, I go to church with my parents and like I play. My dad play and I play and he sing. But yeah, we grew up playing instruments. Like I played the bass and the drums. Then, like I said, I got two older brothers that's twins. One of them played the piano, and then the other one played the bass and the drums too. So yeah, I grew up in the church since I was little. So yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool. So, do you have like stuff at your apartment to play, or do you just play whenever you go back home?
When I was little, like every now and then we'll like play in the living room. We'll practice, but I mean we knew how like the songs was already. But like every now and then we'll go over the songs and we'll practice and play.
That's awesome. Are you involved in a church in Waco where you get to play, or how do you get to stay involved with your faith in school?
Well, I we used to every Monday we used to have like a little chapel thing like with the players, and I'll play the bass guitar then.
Nice.
But I mean, church wise, it's I go to Harris Creek, so like I don't play no instrument, but I go to Harris Creek. But every time I get a chance, like when we have chapel on Mondays, like when the season start back up, that's when I play my guitar.
That's awesome. It's nice to kind of have something besides football that you get to decompress and get to kind of express yourself in a different way. I know this is kind of having a podcast is kind of my creative space that I get to have outside of volleyball. So that's awesome. And who knows, maybe if something happens, you can be in an awesome band.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
awesome. So NIL is a big rising deal. You have a couple. You have one with Reese's, which is sick. I mean, that's
Mm.
just perfect. How have you been able to take advantage of NIL, and do you have anything else coming up? Or
I say it's been good, but I always been the type like I really didn't care like if I didn't have it, cause like at the same time I'm more focused on like football and all that. But it's been a good thing. I mean, with the Reese's, it's like I just get like a lot of candy. But when I first got it, I ain't even like keep all of it. I gave it away, and then I got the NIL with my shirts, and but it's been good going so far.
yeah, it's nice for players like you to be able to take advantage of things like that and kind of do some things on the side and to obviously monetize your name and get a little extra spending cash. So, are you a big like Reese's person? Do you like candy? Is that even up your alley? I'm sure it's not in your diet,
I
but
mean, I like candy. I ain't like a big fan of candy, but I like Reese's. But I'm not like a big fan of candy like that.
yeah, that's awesome. So I always, whenever I interview somebody, I have them, I put questions up on the forum for people to ask. So Bear SoCal asked, how is the transition from high school to college football, and what's one thing that you did that helped you make that transition?
I say the transition was like way different. Cause like in high school, like the linemen weren't really that like they was fast, but they weren't that fast. So when I got here, like the linemen were way faster, and like you had people that was as fast as you. And I say like I had to work more harder than I did like when I was in high school. Even though I put like work in high school, I put extra work in. But it was like when I got here, it was like I had to like work even more harder, and I had to like study more harder, like to know the little things that I needed to work on. So that's how it was.
Nice. And then Bobbert Rousby asked, how has the tone and mindset of the team changed from last season to this season?
I say with last season, like I said, we had a hard time working as a team. So right now it's like they know they know how last season went. So right now we just trying to be a team and not like have everybody doing their own thing. We just trying to be a team so we don't have the same season as we did last year. Cause don't nobody wanna go like 6-7 like we did last year. So that's the main thing right now is just being together as a team.
For sure. I know for us, I mean, we lost in the Sweet 16 to Louisville last year, and I feel like we all still have that bitter taste in our mouths preparing for August of like, nobody wants to feel that way again. No one wants to go 6-7 and have that bitter taste in your mouth again. So for sure understand about the motivation and the grind behind it. What are you most excited about for this season?
I'm excited to see like, cause we got a lot of young people, so I'm excited to see them, see what they can provide for the team and see what they could do. So it's gonna be exciting seeing like the young people, and then we got like a lot of new people, like older people. So I'm just excited to see how like it go.
Yeah, I am too. I'm ready. There's 8 home games. We can go to like 3 or 4, so
Yeah.
everyone's ready. I think Baylor is really excited to watch y'all this year. So everyone that comes to my podcast gets to answer this question. If you could write a letter to sports and say anything you wanted to, what would you say and why?
I say, dear sports, I love you, cause like sports is just something like that I put my everything into. Like it's something I love since I was little, and I've been doing it since I was little. And like it just take my mind off of things. Like when I'm out there, it's just amazing. So that's what I say to sports.
That's awesome. Well, Richard, thank you so much for coming on today. I hope everyone enjoyed that episode just as much as I did. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the things, and make sure you keep up with Richard this season because it's going to be great. Until next time, this is Faith Lynch with Dear Sports.